Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Sergio Lira with an exclusive interview for Que Onda magazine with Ilsa Garcia. She is the president of NHPO, the National Hispanic Organization of Professionals. Ilsa, it's great to see you. I know in a while back you interviewed me. Now it's my turn to interview you, and I'm just so honored to interview you today.
And I'm honored to be here with Que Onda magazine, and not only Que Onda magazine, but also with you, Dr. Lira.
Wonderful. It's a joy to have you on this program, but I want to ask you a quick question. Tell us a little bit about yourself, something unique, perhaps people don't know.
Let's see, there's a lot of, I love those questions, right? Because then you start thinking, what is so unique? Well, I'll let you know something. I'm a great family person. That is something maybe that people do not see because I'm constantly in the community or I'm constantly doing things. But one of the unique things about me is that I love family time. And that's something really rare nowadays, right? Because people always assume that we're always out and about, but one of the most precious things to me is actually the downtime that I get to spend with my sisters, my nieces and nephews, and of course my 82-year-old mother.
Oh, yes, I just met her.
Yes, you did.
She's a beautiful angel on earth. But let me just ask you, right to the question, what is NHPO? What does it stand for? When was it established, and what is the purpose of your organization?
So NHPO means the National Hispanic Professional Organization, and it has been in existence for now 17 years in the Houston area. They started off by having networking events all around the city, and the main purpose for them was really getting to know each other, to establish Hispanos, Hispanics in the community to come together to network. As we now evolve in 2022, I've taken over the organization the past 4 years, and our main mission is to connect. Our main mission is we are a professional networking organization with more than 5,000 people in our database. And active right now, we have more than 300 active members.
Wow.
And so our mission basically, Dr. Lira, is to connect. And we are very helpful with the small business community.
Yes.
So people say, well, how is it that you connect? What is it that you do? We have so many testimonies that I am very proud of. So if you come to our networking event, and we have all professions, and that's something that I love to talk about, because it's not only a doctor, it's not only a lawyer, it's everything. It's from electricians to plumbers to teachers to home care. It's anybody. It's every professional possible. You come to our event and you say, you know what, I'm looking for a new career. This is what I think that I will be great at. We in our database and our networking events will find you that person to help you in your path.
Wonderful, wonderful. In your tenure as president of NHPO, what has been your greatest accomplishment? And then I'm going to follow up with what has been perhaps a disappointment?
So the greatest accomplishment, I like to start with that, right? It's actually changing the organization's vitality, the organization's vibe. I know that is a very 2022 word, but having before a sense of more of a serious button down or meaning or organization or how we network, we have turned it into a very how should I say that, very progressive. Okay. That's the word that I want to use. Progressive form of networking. We're not only really having a good time, but we're actually doing something very professional in there, but in a way where people say, you know what, this is like great, like we're after work, you know how 6 o'clock is, right? You have had a long day, you come, you have your happy hour with us, but at the same time, you know what you're doing? You're getting where you want to go. You're getting your small business off. You're promoting yourself. You're promoting your business. You are talking to some very great professionals and at times elected officials that you can speak with regarding your cause in regards to the city.
Awesome, great, a great need in our community. Which, I've been here all my life, and there was something that was definitely lacking when I was growing up, when I was much younger. But you're providing a great service. What is a disappointment, and not in a negative sense? A disappointment, it means the best way I heard it one time was that it's God's delay. It's just not the time. But what has been perhaps one of your disappointments?
One of my biggest disappointments, and like you said, it's not always a negative thing, but one of my disappointments is maybe the the lack of people that do not want to give this organization an opportunity. You know, and I think to myself, you know, what is it that you are, you know, a lot of times it's only human nature, right, Dr. Lira, for people to think of the past.
Right.
And say, you know what, maybe I came 5-6 years ago and I just did not like this vibe, right? I did not like what I saw, but yet they never came back. And that's why we urge as a board and as we market our organization, NHPO, we urge people to come back. We say, come back, you know, come back and give us a try. That is, you know, something I always say when they say, well, you know what, I don't know if I should become a member or I want to become a member. And I say, thank you so much, but come back up. Come first, give us a try. Let us tell you what we're about. Because whatever happened 6-7 years ago, maybe it wasn't their time. You know, maybe it didn't go with their flow. And now it's now a whole dynamic, a whole new organization.
Yeah, it's, you know, sometimes, you know, first impressions are lasting, but they're not forever. But what I've experienced has always been an embracing organization, and continuing with that type of spirit, perhaps giving them another opportunity and see the beauty of the embracing of folks who attend your events. So the next question is, what do you and your board see in the future? What is our strategic goals?
So we just had a board meeting this week, and we talk so heavily about what we want to see going forward. You know, networking events, we used to have them once a month. We have moved into every other month, but hitting great, we want quality and sustainable networking events. You know, when you do it month to month, sometimes they don't work that way.
That's right.
We want to give our members, our friends, our family, people that come and support the organization a sustainable and a night which they're going to want to come back.
Right.
But most importantly, not because you're having the time of your life, but because you accomplished a goal at our networking event. One of your bucket lists was that either you spoke to somebody who is going to guide you to open up your small business, like Lift Fund, who we partner up with, or you spoke to somebody in the city, you even spoke to the mayor, and you said, you know, I've always wanted to meet the mayor, and this way it's my door to open up. And so with the board in itself, we're moving forward to our membership drive that we have held for 17 years. But this time actually holding it with other organizations, even though it is an NHPO and it's for membership, but actually partnering up with organizations, because we come to find out the importance of actually teaming up with other organizations, and not only the Hispanic organizations. And Dr. Lira, I will say, we have a networking event coming up in the future, and it's called Sake, Soul, and Salsa.
Oh, Lord.
And you're thinking, what the heck is that?
Yes.
Well, we're partnering up with the Asian Chamber.
Oh, wonderful.
They're the sake. The salsa is NHPO. The sake and the soul is the Black Chamber.
Okay.
Because we want to let everybody know that even though we're the National Hispanic Professional Organization, this organization is open to everyone, every professional.
Right. And we live in such a vibrant, diverse city, so it just makes sense to collaborate with other groups. And I like your idea of not only just having monthly meetings for the sake of having them, but having, you know,
a purpose.
A purpose, and meetings that are quality driven, whereas, you know, the building a relationship is sustainable and it's on the agenda, which is great.
Well, I want to add something to that. In this past Cinco de Mayo Hispanos Unidos event that we just had on Cinco de Mayo, which was very successful, we had people go to the back and give them their testimonies.
Okay.
And so and that's what we're moving forward. That's one of our strategic plans. It's actually our members having at our events talking about how they feel about NHPO, or how has NHPO helped them, because it is important that even though we have these networking events, that we know how are we helping the community. Bottom line, we are there to connect. We are there to help a community. And so one of the greatest testimonies that I was back there, I took a break and I kind of stood back there, and you had somebody say, well, you know what, I needed to have my DJ job done, and because of NHPO, I was able to get all these other jobs.
Oh, wow.
And then the second person that came through said, I met my wife through
Lord.
NHPO. Yeah, they've been married 22 years.
Holy smokes.
22 years. They met him. Prior to that, they had spoken to each other. NHPO was still not on. they go to a networking event, like one of the third or fourth networking events with NHPO. They meet each other and been married sons. So they consider like 22 years, which is from their dating to this. And I'm thinking to myself, wow. And recently we had the first NHPO baby.
I was going to say, you're going to have NHPO babies.
We have. So it's not only what and when I see this and hear this, I think to myself, we're not only touching lives in a form of relationships, in the form of business, which is why we are there professionally.
Right.
But everything is really not, it's out of our control if you meet somebody, right? Or if you start a family. It's just so, the organization is so big. It is just so big. And the people that attend, we've been blessed to have people that attend these events that are very go-getters.
Yes.
They're go-getters. They want to accomplish something. It'd be finding their business a new career path. It'd be just like we just spoke about this, like meeting somebody to help them. And so it just brings me joy that we know we not only have these networking events to have them, but we have a purpose in having these events.
Well, I attended that, and unfortunately I left early to another event, but it was a top-notch event, an amazing event.
Thank you.
And you mentioned collaborating with other groups, but what is your plans in terms of collaborating with Que Onda magazine?
So we're very honored to be part of Que Onda magazine. And you know, one of the things that when you speak of collaborating and being part, Que Onda magazine, along with NHPO, you know, we work for the Hispanic community, right? And so we don't, how is it that we work? Well, we're community-based. We are community-based. Ask Que Onda magazine, if you see them, they're placed in strategic parts of the city, most in the East End, where I see them in the city of Houston. But most importantly, when you look at these articles, not only does it tend to go to the Hispanic community, but it really opens up doors to other parts and organizations, and lately to organizations that you would have never known.
Yes.
You would have never known they existed in the city of Houston. So having like-minded people that say, you know what, it's not only being on covers of magazine and not only saying, oh, this is what we do, but giving information to the public, right? Quality information. You're giving them information that says, here you can go for help. You know, there's this great organization that helps you with human trafficking. There's this great group, or there is this sheriff that's doing this thing for the community. It is informing the Hispanic community.
So, what I'm hearing is that the more that we collaborate together in this city, the more that we're able to have the voice and to have the impact in our Latino community. So working together makes us stronger.
You know, and I think I've spoken with you about this and many other people when they say, you know, the Anglo community, the African American community, the Asian community, they stick very close to each other, right? They collaborate all the time.
Yes.
And you know, and the Hispanic community, I've always felt like we do the same.
Yes.
But we need to do it in a force where, you know, we are constantly in people's faces.
That's right.
And not feel ashamed in being in people's faces, right? Because I was like, I don't want to get on people's nerves. But if you don't get on their nerves, then you're not going to get your point across. You're not going to get what you need to do across.
Absolutely. And now that we're the majority in this city, expressing who we are is a big plus for everyone. Now, let me give you one more other question. Would you like to say a few words in Spanish to our listeners and to our readers? And you may want to mention your gala. Could you mind sharing a few words about that in español?
Para todos los que nos están viendo, yo soy Ilsa Garcia, presidenta de NHPO, y qué hermosa entrevista con Que Onda Magazine. Y NHPO va a tener una gala septiembre 13 en the ballroom at the Bayou Place. Y es para todos están invitados. Vamos a tener nuestros boletos en venta en un mes para que todos puedan asistir. Pero no nomás eso, esta gala va a ser para recaudar fondos para dar una beca más adelante para no nomás estudiantes, sino para un adulto que quiera continuar con sus estudios. NHPO va a dar, si usted quiere vender casas, vendedor de casas o cortar pelo, es algo que en veces no hay dinero para esos tipos de becas o carreras, pero NHPO va a dar una beca para ayudar a una persona adulta para su educación. Y NHPO va a estar presente, al igual que ¿Qué Onda Magazine? Y muchas gracias por siempre ir a nuestros eventos. Síganos en las redes sociales www.nhpohtx.org.
And thank you for your time and service to our city. Muchas gracias on behalf of ¿Qué Onda Magazine.
Thank you, Dr. Lira.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.